Hello, you filthy animals, and welcome to the fourth episode of the Arrowverse Rewrite series. This is a series of videos where I will attempt to rewrite the Arrowverse to make it something better, at least for my own personal taste. This video will cover Season 3, Episode 2. Without wasting any more time, let's get into it. Once again, we have two things to change from previous rewrites. I was going to add them to the episode 1 rewrite, but you can already see how long that got, so I thought let me just add it to the second episode. First thing to change, in the season finale for season 2, Amanda Waller tries to send a nuke to Starling City to get rid of Slade. We have to cut that out. That just has to go. I don't care that means Diggle and his wife won't have anything to do. That just has to go. And there's no scene of Layla betraying Waller in any way, shape or form. The second thing to change is the nature of the episode called Suicide Squad in season 2. In that episode, we saw a flashback showing how Layla and Diggle met, and that also has to change. Let it be a Deadshot flashback instead. Let the villain of that suicide mission be one of Deadshot's old buddies instead of one of Diggle's old buddies, and the flashback fleshes out Deadshot instead of Diggle. There is a reason for both those changes. Now let's get into the actual rewrite. Dinah will wake up in the hospital. She'll see her leg in a bandage and she'll remember everything that happened and feel horrible about what happened to herself, what happened to Nissa, and she'll remember the man with the white bullseye on his mask shooting her in that same leg. Then she'll look around and see her dad is in the room, but he's asleep on a chair. She'll try to speak to him, but feel pain and clutch her throat to find more damages. You'll remember that her neck got slashed, but it wasn't a killing blow. You will see tears form in her eyes, and the commotion will cause Quentin to wake up. When he sees she is awake, he will rush to her and hug her. Damn it, Dinah. What happened? Why were you out in the glades and on a rooftop? Dinah will speak with a raspy voice. I was meeting a friend. We had dinner and I got mugged by some crooks. I tried to run away from them by climbing on a fire escape, but I guess they really wanted whatever money I had because they followed me up there. But why would you be out so late? From now on, you have to get home at 6 p.m. I'll assign an officer to make sure you get home by this time every day. And also, Dad, stop. I'm an adult. You can't place a curfew on me anymore. You're still my daughter, and it's my duty to protect you. You're the daughter of the police commissioner. You need to take better care of yourself. This is serious, Dinah. You're the only family I have left. Your sister was always carefree and careless, and we lost her. I cannot lose you too. Dinah will look at her father and hug him. All right, Dad. Let's compromise. I promise to not go to the glades alone again, and if I'm ever late, to order a cab. Let's say 9 o'clock. 7 sharp. 8 p.m. final offer. Fine. And when you get home, let me know just so I know you're safe. I won't do it every night, but I'll try to make a habit of talking to you every week. We need to talk more anyway. Now Quentin, who's calmed down by now, will say, Okay. We better let all your friends know you're okay. They're all waiting outside in the lobby. Dinah will peer out of the window, seeing Oliver and the rest of Team Arrow minus Roy, because it would be a bit unrealistic for the whole of Team Arrow to be there. Oh, by the way, one of my officers picked this up. I assume it belongs to you. And he will show Dinah an envelope. The same envelope that Nisa showed her last night. Meaning Nisa must have dropped it. And it has a few drops of blood, and Dinah can't tell if it's her own blood or Nisa's. Either way, it doesn't really matter, does it? Yes, it's mine. Can I have it? It's really important. And Quentin gives his daughter the letter. Moving over the flashbacks, Oliver and Maceo will be called into a hospital. Walla will be there talking to a doctor, and when Oliver goes to speak, she will silence him by raising her hand. From the conversation that they are having, we will learn that the hospital was robbed last night. The conversation is in Chinese, and so Oliver will barely catch what they are saying. We'll find out Amanda Waller's fluent. Anyway, when the doctor's done explaining, he'll make a short, respectful bow and then leave. What was that all about? I have a mission for you, Mr. Queen. A mission? That's right. You work for me now, remember? I didn't rescue you from that island to have you constantly trying to escape and interrupt conversations. Maceo will assist you in the mission and ensure that you don't try anything stupid. What's the mission? Last night, this hospital was robbed and its supply of pentabuflomethamine was stolen. Walk with me. The three characters will begin walking across the hospital. Pentabuflomethamine is the only known treatment for an otherwise fatal illness. You see this woman here? She'll say as she points to a woman in a hospital bed who is in critical condition. She and another man I am about to show you are both in critical condition after contracting this pathogen. Left untreated, they will both be dead in 3 days. Now there is enough reserve medicine to hold them out, but if the hospital isn't resupplied soon, they will both die within the week. By now they are in the man's room and we can see that he's also in the same condition. I am not a doctor or a chemist. Why don't you call the police to find the criminals and get back the meds? What do you want from me? Obviously, the hospital informed the police immediately. But sometimes one must take the law into their own hands if they wish to make a difference. Solely relying on the police will lead you astray. Anyway, your mission, whether or not you choose to accept it, is to do everything in your power to save as many of them as you can. If they both die, I will be very displeased, and you don't want that. Well, I will say that and then walk away. We'll cut to present day, to Dinah narrating everything that happened last episode to Team Arrow in the bunker. The only thing she'll leave out is the reason why Nisa was going to train her and the fact that she wants to be the new canary, so she doesn't need Oliver trying to shut her down. After that, Team Arrow will begin deliberating amongst themselves and they'll conclude that Nisa was attacked by a group. She is the daughter of Rishal Ghul after all, and a group like the League of Assassins probably has many rival factions or many rival groups that want to attack them, and Nisa would be a prime target. And then an argument will come up concerning the letter that Nisa wrote, and it will serve as the drama for the entire episode. Here is the idea being pitched, that they hide the fact that Nisa's been kidnapped from her father and her family and whatnot by sending the letter. Remember, she was to send the letter to say that she wants to take some time off to train Dinah. So they pretend that Nisa's still with them. They find one of these safe houses that she talked about, deliver the letter, claim that she's just fine, and then they find her themselves. Felicity is strongly for this idea because she calculates that if Rachel Gould were to find out his daughter's kidnapped, he may overreact and send the entire League of Assassins to Starling City to burn it down in retribution. And there's absolutely nothing the Team Arrow can do against the entire League of Assassins, when every time they've been seen to fight a single assassin, it's always been a struggle. I mean, they may be stronger, but I mean, the entire League of Assassins, come on. And Roy Harper, he's not as strong about it, but he agrees with her. Meanwhile, Diggle is on the opposite side of the argument. He thinks it's morally wrong. Having recently become a father himself, he can't think of anything more evil than hiding from a father that their child is missing and her loved ones. And he argues that they don't know that Rachel Gould will overreact with vengeance. But the fact remains, even after they find Nisa, when they take her to her family, when he finds out that his daughter had been kidnapped and he wasn't informed, that's when he may overreact. Of course, none of these people know Rachel Gould, so they have no way of knowing which of the two is more likely. Anyway, Dinah is on Diggle's side because she'd grown to like Nisa in that little conversation they had. So it's a 2v2. And Oliver, the main character, will be the deciding vote, but he is yet undecided. Anyway, after that, Team Arrow will disperse so that Oliver can think, and Dinah will head out to Central City to check up on Barry Allen, who recently woke up from his coma. I should note that her voice has come back. It wasn't any permanent damage, it was just something temporary. Anyway, it will cut to the supposed League of Assassins outpost, the same one that Nisa had mentioned, where we'll see two assassins guarding the post. Then they'll be assassinated by Komodo, the villain of the week. He'll shoot arrows at them and kill them. Now, in the original, Komodo was used as a red herring for Sarah Lance's killer, but in order for him to be a red herring for the current dilemma of the episode, a few things need to change, but I'll get back to that later. Moving back to the flashbacks, we will see Oliver and Maceo have gotten to work. They got a hold of the evidence that the police had, and they'll track down the bandits. But when they finally catch them, they'll learn that they sold the drugs in the black market, and they're long gone. Even if they somehow manage to track down those drugs, it'll be too late for the patients. Oliver's next idea is to just resupply the medicine from the source, but turns out the medicine is made in a country on the opposite side of the world, and the flight and the export fees and everything, the herb that's used to make it isn't even in season. It's just not a viable plan. Throughout the episode, he'll just go eliminating things by things as he gets more hopeless, realizing that there's nothing he can do. There's no medicine that he'll be able to get. There's no way he can ever resupply the hospital. But here's the deal. Maceo will note to him that his mission isn't to save both of them. If he can't save both of them, he should, but all he needs to do is save one of them. And the medicine that's already at the hospital, it may not be enough for both of them, but it's enough for one patient. But the hospital, obviously, they're still waiting for someone to resupply the medicine. So you can't go to them and tell them to let one patient die. So Oliver has to be the one to make that choice for them. And it can't even be Maceo, because it's not even Maceo's mission. He's just here to make sure Oliver doesn't run away. Cutting to the present day, we'll see Team Arrow investigating who's killing these people. How did these assassins die? And how are these other people who are dying throughout the episode dying? And they'll conclude that it's a person called Komodo who's killing associates of the League of Assassins to try and draw in as many assassins as he can so that he can eliminate them all in one blaze of glory. You see, Komodo works for a faction called the Order of Saint Dumas, a group that has an ancient hatred for the League of Assassins, and so they're probably very guilty of kidnapping Nisa. And his big plan is to lure the assassins to the Code Gala that's happening this episode, where he has a bomb in the basement that he's going to blow up. Because, no matter how well trained the League of Assassins members are, you can't fight a bomb. And Ted God himself and all his guests, they'll just be collateral. Komodo doesn't care. Cutting to the flashbacks again, we'll see Oliver sneak into both patients' rooms through the window. He's killed before, but usually it was people who deserved it, people who were trying to kill him. It was always self-defense. But now he has to kill people who are defenseless, who none of them have done anything wrong that he knows anyway. He just has to make a choice, otherwise they both will die. We'll see him perching on the window of the woman, looking at her, clenching his fist, then he'll let go. Then he'll go to the window of the man, he'll look at him, the man's dying. How can he make this choice? And yet he has to. In the end, he'll choose the man. He'll ask for the man for forgiveness, even though the guy is in a coma, he can't even hear anything. We'll see a scene, Oliver begging this man to forgive him, and then he'll smother him with his pillow. The next day, he'll be summoned to a construction site to find Waller talking to someone. This time he won't interrupt Waller until she's done. That's when she'll inform him that he succeeded in his mission successfully, but then she'll debrief him on what he didn't know. Apparently, both those patients were convicted criminals on death row, so they both volunteered for this social experiment, and since the woman ended up surviving it, she's no longer on death row. Now she's got a life sentence instead, because she can't be let out into society. She committed a horrible crime. And Waller will explain that the test was to see if Oliver has the ability to make tough decisions whenever necessary. She'll tell Oliver that her agents are expected to make decisions like that all the time. Yes, today both those people deserve to die, and so the decision wasn't as morally questionable. But in the future, if he's to truly work for her, there will be times when you have to kill someone in order to help your team escape, or kill someone so that they don't out where you are to their boss, and he has to be cold-blooded. But she says that he did not disappoint her in the slightest. He performed better than most people do on this test, and she can tell that he has a lot of potential. And you can see Waller's lesson of having to make tough decisions in the heat of battle parallels with Oliver's dilemma in the present day, where does he do the morally sound thing and let Rachel Gould know that his daughter's been kidnapped, or does he do the strategically sound thing and hide it from the League of Assassins and protect his city for however long he can? Anyway, for the final fight, obviously Team Arrow has to stop Komodo before his plan goes on. And we'll see that his plan had partially worked. He managed to draw in 8 entire assassins to come for him, and so he'd have killed 8 assassins. And when they get there, they'll ask to take Komodo to Nanda Parbat to face the League's justice. What exactly will happen to him? He will be tried by the Master. If Rachel Gould finds him innocent, he will be allowed to join the League and begin his life anew, with new purpose. If he is found guilty, he will be granted an honorable death, which is more than he deserves. As the assassins are motioning to leave, Oliver will look at the letter in his hand, and then he'll say, "Wait, I have something for you. Nissa Al Ghul gave this to me. She could not be here in person, but she told me if I gave this to any member of the League of Assassins, it would find its way to Rachel Gould." The assassin will look at it suspiciously. It's a letter with blood on it. Why isn't Nissa here? But then without another word, she'll take the envelope, put it in her robe, and all 9 men and women will disappear into the night. And that brings us to the end of the rewrite. If you enjoyed the video, then you might as well press the like and subscribe button. My goals are to reach at least 500 subs by the end of the year. It may be a tall task, but I don't think it is. If everyone likes and these videos by any chance get popular, then it should be very possible. Please feel free to give me any feedback, something you liked, something you really didn't like, and thanks for watching. You can watch the next episode, Sidekicks or Sidearms, by clicking the link on your screen right now. Until then, hail and farewell.